I think we're going to be live. Got it. The meeting is being live streamed, and I'm just 1 second. Everybody has to wait because my Facebook starts echoing. It gets on and then it starts echoing. I'm still getting used to all this technical stuff that happens. Yeah, it's gone off now. Okay. Hello, everybody. Good morning and good evening, wherever. Sumitra is joining us at 11 o'clock in the night. So it's different parts of the world, people watching it. We are here with our 26th mom. I've actually done it. 25 moms found, and we've interviewed them, and all of them are now gearing up for that book. Building their stories, building their self-portraits. They've started to share that. So the book is coming alive slowly. So that's the good news. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days of guests coming just to celebrate these 25 moms who decided to show up to be those inspiring moms for the world with their stories. And I'm totally excited. Sumitra is a very, very, very dear friend. And Sumitra, as usual, I keep saying, when a dear friend or a very close relative comes to my interviews, it's nothing to do with what they are related to me with. It's totally to do with why they deserve to be in this space of mothers, because I have totally admired them. Sumitra is definitely on one of my top lists of mothers I've always admired, and I am very verbal about it, not from now, from always, because I look at her and I see her as somebody who's an epitome of showing up. Like, she just cracks it like anything, of showing up in her authentic self, in her highest spirit, in the most beautiful way I have met any mom around me, because I'm surrounded by moms being a photographer. Sumitra, welcome. It's a total, like, you were definitely on my mind, even if you're on the 26th number today, but you were on my mind as definitely one of the mothers who should come out and speak about how and what it takes to show up in spite of all the days of up and down, and how you've taken such a beautiful journey. And do please mention what all you have done since your children have come in this world, and just go ahead and introduce yourself. And don't mind, I've got cold, so I'm going to be wiping my nose. Yeah, go ahead.
So thanks for making me a part of your dream project, Shikha. I think that itself was a very big honor, because I know that what it means to you and where you're taking it. I have seen all the lovely moms being interviewed before me. And when you told me to come, and I was like, oh my gosh, where am I going to fit in with all these moms, right? I'll just tell you a little about myself. I'll tell everyone here just a little about myself.
Yeah.
Well, like any other girl in my teens, I had dreams of, having a good job, having a good life. I got a good job even with a consulting firm. I was working as there in human resources. And then, of course, life gradually happened and I became a mother. And I think when I became a mother, I truly found myself. And my firstborn is a boy. He's going to turn 12 now, end of the month. And my secondborn is a girl, and she will turn 9 in September. So I worked for 3 years after Jerry was born, and I quit my job after Kiki was born because Nakul, my husband, was traveling a lot. And between the two of us, one parent needed to be home. And I think God was very kind, and I take it as an opportunity in life that came and fell on my lap, and I just grabbed it because I had the luxury of staying back at home with my children and seeing them grow and being a part of what they are today. So my lens has been very different on this. When anyone asks me, what do you do? Like if I'm surrounded by women and they ask me, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, I'm a mom. And I always wish that there were forms that said, when they say, are you self-employed? Are you working in a company? Are you doing this? I think I wish there is just a column that says, are you a mom?
Yeah.
And I would very proudly just pick that.
Yeah.
Because it means so much to me.
Right.
So, being a mom was great for the first couple of years. The children needed me all the time. I ferried them to various classes, school. I was heavily involved in volunteering with whatever activity was required. And I would show up, right? And it was a struggle. And none of this that I'm saying that looks very glamorous, that looks very easy, was easy at that time. It was very tough, right? With Nakul traveling, it was almost like being a single parent at home, trying to fit two schedules, trying to even, do your basic routine in the morning, that was a struggle.
Right.
And then you had to, I was always very keen that the children eat healthy, eat at home. Junk food was not an option. I did not want them to see enough TV. So being involved with them was very essential.
Right.
And so, it was a day to day struggle. I would go to school and I would realize that my pants are stained with food that I was feeding the children. I was never one of the good looking moms around. I didn't, have makeup on. But the one thing that I really loved was just spending time with my children. But
Right.
that was their first couple of years when they really needed me. Couple of years, I would say, like, till they were 6, 7. And I was also very, very certain that I wanted to bring up my children that they would be independent. And
Right.
for two reasons. One, it would free up my time because I do realize that I'm more than a mom.
Yes.
And second, going ahead in life, I always want my children to be able to do everything on their own, right? We don't have gender specific roles. I would like my son to be able to cook, to clean, and to keep a house well, while I'd like my daughter to be able to do all the work that supposedly men are supposed to do, right? So I've always brought them up very independent. And having said that, the drawback was that I had a lot of free time, right? And with a very fertile brain and and I'm very active, I had to do something. So then I started a small, I wanted to bring artists on one platform when we were in India and make them available to willing students or willing children. And we started a small company called Artist Junction. We did our first workshop in Gurgaon. It was a success. And but before we could take it to the next level and do it another time, we had to move, and we moved to Singapore.
Yeah.
It was nice. We traveled a lot. And again, the children grew before I knew, and I had more time. And I was wondering what I can do. So I started a company called Passport Perfect. And Passport Perfect did very custom made travels for people who wanted to visit India and Sri Lanka, right? And of course, there are, when you are in the Western world, you have a different perception of India. You feel you cannot navigate it.
Right.
Some bit of it is true. Navigation becomes a little challenging. What to do, how to do, and everyone travels differently. So we used to do custom made travels, and I was really enjoying that bit because I myself am a travel freak. I mean, I love to travel. I love to experience things, food, culture, you know, the environment, nature. It was going very well when we moved again, and we moved to the US. And well, we moved end of December. Sorry, December 2019. So till March, everything was fine, and then of course Corona struck, and the world shut down. Right.
Yep.
So I'm back to a place again where now I have children that are 10 and 7. They are very independent again. They don't need me so much apart from their regular, the food and their emotional needs. And I have time again. And then there is this virus that has shut the entire world down, but I still needed to do something to keep my, activity going, my mind going. So I started a home venture, another venture, which I run currently. And it's called Frangipani Home Kitchen. I love cooking. I love spending time because I feel I have a very special relationship with food. And that has translated from, I have kind of passed it on to my family. And we all bond over food. We've had lovely time. We have had a lovely time. I love having guests over, and you know that, right? I love putting a table together. I just feel it makes it makes our house a home. And so I started this business wherein I have a distribution list, and moms have come and supported me. I stay in a place called Terrace Park in US, in Cincinnati. And there are moms that sign up for my meal, and I cook thrice a week, and I deliver it to them. And so they get home cooked, fresh Indian food like I would eat and I would serve my family. So that's my current gig that I'm up to.
Yes. I
And
like the
apart
fact that
from
it's very
that,
big gig.
yeah, I'm trying to become, like my son says, I'm getting into the vibe. Mom, you need to get the vibe. Yeah, I'm trying to get there. But apart from that, I have one serious passion that I I have not given up on, or rather, I took up very recently, and I have pursued very, very diligently, and that's Taekwondo. I was 39. I was going to enroll my children for Taekwondo lessons when there was a when the instructor told me, why don't our school is new here and we are having classes for women. Would you like to join? And I was like, what the heck? I'm not doing nothing tomorrow. I'll come. Okay, yeah, sure, I'll come. And that was the day. And it's today. It's been 4 years. I have got my second degree black belt. I have torn my calf muscle and I'm ready to go back. And that's one
Amazing.
serious passion that I pursue. And um, the biggest achievement of my adult life, I would say.
Like while I was looking here, Gia is here and Francis are here in the comments, and I'm sitting here like this, like like as if there's been so much pride in me while you're talking, like with these things that you've done. It sounds very simple, Sumitra, what you're saying. It sounds very simple. I'm a mom of two in COVID, and I've seen you showing up like when we were together in the same place in Delhi. I've met you in markets with holding Kiki on your shoulder, and Jerry's walking next to you while Kiki was I think about 2, and Jerry was not more than like he's 4 years old or 4.5, 5,
Yeah, that was the
and
best way
even
to come together.
yeah, and even then you were in so much control in spite of the fact that the kids were very young. And I know there was a lot of struggle, mental struggle. There were things that were bothering, but for your kids you were this powerhouse which was always showing up, which I always admired. I think Shaurya was very young at that time. It was all of 8 and 9 months when I think Kiki and all are that much difference, one and a
Yeah,
half, 1 year difference or something.
yeah,
And I used to keep looking at you because I had met so many mothers, and I've expressed this so many times that how is she doing it? How is she managing to? Sorry for my cold, but how is she managing to like show up like this? And then from there onwards, I've seen you doing taekwondo. You've missed the main thing. I used to look up to you doing marathons. You're a runner, you're a traveler, you're a cyclist, but at the same time, was such an involved mom. I look at your children and I love the way they are developing. Even if you keep doubting whether you are a great mom or not, I see them growing amazingly. I see Jerry doing cross stitch. Then I see Kiki with things that. So that's an amazing achievement you've already achieved. With both the kids, the way they show up. In Singapore, when I visited you, Jerry was like going across alone in the train, and then going across without a phone, and maneuvering this entire thing at the age of 7. And I used to just look at it saying that it's amazing how even if you were scared, you kept on doing what's the right thing to do. That was one. But the other thing was you kept on doing what was the right thing to do for you. you know Participating in marathons, going for taekwondo class, hosting guests when you had an operation. Like I always, like, when things happen around me, I love hosting guests as well. So like I'm always questioned, so I relate to you totally that it's okay. And when I landed up in your house and I just came to know that you had such a big operation, that's all right. I mean, it's okay. I'm recovering. It was good to have you around, and I was just like totally amazed that like where is this spirit comes from of Sumitra, where she's this very open. That's why you are a definite inspiration, because it looks like day to day life for you. It looks like as if what's the big deal, but hundreds and thousands and moms I'm speaking to, and hundreds and thousands of moms will tell you how do you do it, Sumitra? How do you do with this with the smile, coming up with these ventures? And if everybody goes to Sumitra's profile, please, I would like you to visit her profile and just go down few profile of hers. You will see her travel, you will see her cycling, you will see her, uh, you know, cheering up her children for doing things like jumping off 100 feet cliff for the first time, this, that. And that itself is very inspirational. I think you're a total inspirational mom in living in full spirit, in spite of being a friend. I know, in spite of the challenges that have been put in front of you. And at this time, right now, also you were limping when you just went back. And I'm like, oh my God, she's limping again. What did she just do? So I know you just got hurt by Taekwondo and then you was limping. And here you are at 11 o'clock in the night saying, fine, Shika, I'm supporting you here and I will be there for the interview. So what else does one need? Nothing else. Like, this is what we need. And this is what I'm trying to show in this book about the fact that it's tough, it's unbelievable. Just don't sit there. Come back. Every single day, come back. Don't let yourself. So, What do you think happens to mothers? You've spoken to mothers, and we spoke about judgment. Let's talk about that right now. Or what do you think happens to moms? And I'm going to keep
I
seeing the comments.
Yeah, so I can't say what happens to moms, I mean, I can't put myself at that level to say that, I can coach people, right? I'm living my own struggles, my own life, but I can tell you what I do, right?
Yeah.
Um, Part of it is genetic, I would say, from my mother, because she's extremely positive. And I have always seen her, and she taught me this, that look, life will throw a challenge at you, and you have two options. You can cry over it and not do anything. You can, you might still not do anything, but you can laugh, right? So the second option is always best, right? Because if once you're able to laugh it out, it seems a little lesser, right?
Yeah.
So that's one lesson I've always carried with me. And the second, I think, in my mother, in being a mother, has always been a lesson that a friend's father had randomly just thrown at us at a party. He was drunk and everything, but he just said, Sumitra, बच्चों मैं एक बात बोलूंगा, that I should actually just say it in English, because so many people
Yeah.
are now going to.
There's a
So
lot of international
I know
audience, to say it in
international
English.
audience, yes. So I will.
Yeah.
So he just randomly said that, kids, I'll just tell you one thing: your children owe you nothing, right? Whatever you do for them, you're doing because you want to do, not because they are asking you. Don't send them to school; they will not say anything to you. And that has actually stayed with me as a mom. And so whatever I have done for the children is not. I have not done anything for them. I have always done it because I wanted to do it. And when you do
Right.
something for yourself, you always do it to the best, right? If you buy something for yourself, you'll want to buy the best. If you go somewhere, you will want to go to the best restaurant, eat the best food, right? So whatever I've done for the children, has I have done it because I wanted it, right? And I acknowledge that. And and so I have no expectations of them that they will say a thank you. They will, you know it comes as part of their upbringing. Yes, the gratitude will come as part of their upbringing, but I'm not expecting that at the end of it someone will tell me good job done, right? I'm going to evaluate myself at the end of the journey. Also,
Right.
along the way, I've realized no one is going to come to me and say, okay, you had a tough day, koi baat nahi. It's okay, get up, I'll make you a cup of tea, I'll do this. You just have to be your own support system. And having known that, I think I have made it a point to be support system for other mothers or other women in general. You don't need to be a mother. Women have their own struggles, right? It could be marital, it could be office, it could just be with parents, it could just be not being able to get married, it could be problem with boyfriend. I don't want to know any of that. I don't want to know what's your problem, but your look will tell me, okay, there is something wrong, and I'm just happy to just sit with you, have a cup of tea, or just reach out to you saying, do you need anything, do you want me to do something for you, just want to come up, I have a chat. We don't need to chat about your problems, we just chat, and if that makes you better, I'm happy. That's another thing I've learned as in this entire journey, that there's nothing better than just offering a little helping hand to someone. And everyone has place in this world. I don't need to be the best. I don't need to be the best mom, but I need to be the best to my ability.
Right.
If I can do that much, I think that's great. And I think that just keeps me satisfied. I know I don't want my children to be the topper in class. I don't want my children to be the best child to be the best tennis player or the best person in gymnastics, right? But I want them to do better than their ability, or whatever is their ability. I want them to do that. So I always tell my children, you have to do what, I mean, your competition is yourself. If you were at a level today, next time when you come for class, you have to just try and rise above it. And that's the same standard I set for myself. If I'm a mother and I approach a particular problem, I don't compare myself to anyone else. And I never compare, saying that, okay, she's being, I admire them. I admire you for the way you handle things, the way you're able to talk to children, and I try to learn that. But I don't want to, you know aim to be you, because I cannot do that. I will set myself up for failure.
Sumitra, I mean, um, uh, I these interviews are very, very spontaneous for me, and
Yeah.
I'm totally loving this conversation as usual, because your core is very inspiring, and I keep telling you, you need to write a book. And you keep saying that, Ashika, it's not a big deal, but what you just said, I don't know. Frances is watching here. She's into she's a teacher, and she would probably agree. But the fact that you just said that you don't, like, the children owe nothing to you, we, like most mothers, know this at a very theoretical level,
Yeah.
but they've not internalized that yet. Yeah, Francis is saying I agree. They haven't internalized that yet, that your children really don't owe, and what you're doing is you're doing it because you want to do it, or what you're not doing is because you don't want to do it. Like, it's both ways. Like, if
Yeah.
you don't, if you're not, if something is lacking, and it's because you don't want to do it and you're forcing yourself to do it, and that's why you feel this frustration, you feel this whole thing, and without judging yourself whether it's right or wrong, I should do it, I should not. But the fact that you said that is absolutely, I think this needs to anyway go into the book as a story, that like your children don't owe anything to you. And the way you've shown up, you show up amazingly, and your children are growing up beautifully. And I will keep saying this, that I really look up to you as a mom, as a person who's so creative. You've been a dancer as well in your
Yes.
past, before mother life. And one day I came to know, oh my gosh, she's a dancer as well. So I like that you live your life fully. I love that fact that you live it fully, and I really, really, look forward to what's coming next from Sumitra. Uh, what is it? Like, I feel a lot of pride in, saying that about you. And you just said, and you mentioned just before we were starting the conversation about when you became a mom, you dropped the judgment part. Let's talk about that. And Francis, you must hear this. Like, this is beautiful what she said.
So I think, yeah, that has been one of my biggest learnings as as a mom. And it didn't come the day I had my child and I started breastfeeding. It came over a period of time. I've been a mother for 12 years now, and over a period of this 12 years, I have realized that the one thing that I should not do is judge others. And by others, I mean everyone else, be it a man or a woman, be it a mom or just a teenage girl, whoever. I try. I won't say I am fully successful, but I am at least conscious of the fact. And like my husband and I, we write yearly goals. We like to see that are we progressing? Are we doing something more than just our what we are mandated to do? Sorry, mandated to do either in office or with the children. We like to grow. We like to grow as individuals, because again, that's another thing that helps us get back to life, to look forward to the next year, the next month. So we like to write goals. And well, for a long time now, we have been writing that we don't want to be judgmental of people. And we write those goals and we revisit them every, once in a while during the year, because it helps you kind of internalize that. And the reason I would say why I wanted to put that in the goals is because, as a mother, I would go and I would take my children to a party and realize I'm really shabbily dressed. Why? Because I dressed up one child, I fed one child, and by the time the second one had, thrown up, and it was all on me. But I was running short of time, but I had to just quickly move because it was time to go. The party was only for an hour or two because it was a children's party. And, it was a struggle. We
Yeah.
all had a good time, but then I realized I had stained clothes. So suddenly I just realized that other people, even if it's like someone just wearing something funny or having something pasted on their car, I stopped kind of at least passing lame comments like, oh, what is she wearing? Does she really need to do? Does she, how is she looking? Or those kind of lame comments, I just feel are insulting, to the other person, of course, and also kind of brings you down, because you are again stepping away from understanding the fact that that person might have had a tough day at work.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
know, right? Or the person's child might be ill and she still is forced to go to work.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what the mind of the mother would be going through? Or it could just be simple things that people are struggling, their finances are low, or you don't know,
Yeah.
they just fight.
Like, yeah.
It's just their style. If everything is, I mean, everything doesn't need to be wrong, maybe everything is fine at their end, and that's just their style. um, who am I to judge, right?
Right.
So that's one thing that I'm trying to do.
No, it's a
Con-
beautiful thing, and you said that beautifully before this, that I think the one thing that we can do to support, especially because this project is about mothers, and that's why I'm speaking the mothers' voice more here, is that at least approach them with a very open mind and not judgmental. Because more and more I'm finding, that when I'm saying that you go down, it's not always that they go willingly. There are situations around them that make
oh
make it
yes.
so difficult for them to come back. There's just no space. sometimes some of them have had a crazy childhood, and then it's bringing even more, when you become a mom, Sumitra, uh, a lot of things come back to you if you're carrying it, especially in the first time being a mom, and if you're breastfeeding, you're sitting alone in the night sometimes with a child, and you're going totally crazy. You get so much that happened in the past. It starts bothering you. You've not solved it before this. So when you're talking about judgments, you really don't know that why suddenly a happy person has become this obsessed person with the child, or not so obsessed, or is pushing the child away, or not pushing the child away, or not want to spend time, or want to spend too much time. I mean, it's
Yeah,
all because all the time we are just like trying to, what happened to her when she became a mother, like she got totally crazy, look at her, like
that's
all,
right.
yeah, so it's not only at that point, but also what's dawning, what's coming onto them. There are physical changes. There are actually something called postnatal depression, which people just think is absolutely stupid, because then people will come up and say, oh, you're not the first time of having a child, why are you depressed, what's so depressing about it? But it's just your hormones playing with it, because probably the health was not supporting it. I don't know how the child
That's right. And then you
was.
also have family, right? I mean, then you also have so many people that will come and tell you whether, oh, you're not breastfeeding correctly, or your child is
Yeah,
not very thin, or is very fat, or this is how it has to be done, or this is how it was done in our age, in our times.
yeah,
And you do have advice that comes to you which is unsolicited, which is not needed. And like you rightly said, we all carry baggage from the past, right? So I mean,
yeah,
I didn't grow up with my mother for a a large part of my childhood, and I mean, and then I was fortunate to kind of live the part, after my, my teens to till I got married with her. And so, the short period that we lived together and we really enjoyed, and she changed my perspective so much. And for a long time, I just felt, oh, how I've missed being with my mom. And
yeah,
we did have, like, we did have things which we never spoke about because they were painful. But I guess, again, being a mom, I understood her perspective, and I think she understood my perspective, and that's kind of
yeah,
cemented our bond. And like you said, we do carry baggages from the past, and
yeah. And it's
they
happened to me
reflect
as
in
well, and that's why
and they reflect
I
in what we are today.
yes, yes, because for me, I've not had a mother all my life, and when the first one happened, I was like all the time with him, not leaving him, and I think it came across as if I'm obsessed with my child. But it's only after a few months, like probably 9, 10 months down the lane, one day I sat with myself and I realized that I was trying to be the mother that I did not have to my child, because for me, I know what it means when a child cannot find their mom, and for me it's a very painful thing to see any child go through that. And that's
Yeah.
why there was a poem I recently was telling, and Cynthia is here. She's also in the space of mothers, and she's a very passionate mom herself, and she's an emotional person, but she'll relate to this poem as well. And this poem, I was heading a poetry movement at one point in time, and so the founder had written this poem called, and the entire book was about terror. Terror. It was a poem about terror, and terror not in the sense of terrorism, but terror of different kinds in human beings. Different human beings have different kinds of terrors. And then there was a poem called Terror of a Child, and it was just a three-line poem. And that poem says, the terror of a child is to call out in the dark, Ma, where are you? And receive only silence in reply. That's
Yeah.
a terror of a child. That's a terror of a child. And I have faced it. Like, I know. Even if you have a joint family around you, for a child to feel that. So for me, even if I was being judged at that point in time, oh my gosh, she's obsessed. Oh my gosh, she stopped her life. Oh my gosh, she's not doing photography. Oh my gosh, she was a known photographer. What's wrong with her? All the time she's with a child. All the time, trying to, uh, so that's where when you're saying that we have to stop judging, because we don't know. Because even I didn't know, and I'm
Yeah.
saying it today in live, that even I didn't know that this is what was happening to me, that I was trying to be that mom that I didn't have, and it was all your past baggage which is coming, and you just like, it's the baby's right there, but you actually actually became that child, and then I became that mother that I didn't have, and I was trying to be there for him for all those years, that 30 years I didn't have.
That's
So
right.
and nobody understood it because I didn't understand it. It's only when I understood it and I could speak up about it, and I
Yeah.
understood it, that I could say that, oh, this is happening. I need to, you know. And today, like my older one with the younger one, I'm still putting the distance. I'm giving him that thing. But with the older one, he's very like mama, 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 and everybody says you made him like that. I said I don't know. I don't know if I made him like that, or I
Then that's
don't
a
know. But this is the best thing I knew. You know?
and it's again someone's judgment on your
Yeah,
motherhood, which is
yeah.
required, right?
So
The relationship which you share with your older one and your younger one is just between the two of you, and the rest of us are just very peripheral,
absolutely,
right?
absolutely. And every
I
mom has a story.
That's right. I also want to highlight one more thing, while we're talking on this and what moms go through is also that, my husband and I, he's a very supportive husband. I think I could not have been more lucky in terms of getting Nakul as my partner. He's always
I was
respected my,
about to say that next, but you said it.
yes, my feelings, my judgment. He's never forced his opinion on me. It was my decision to quit my job. He never said, you need to quit and I will earn the money. He always gives me a helping hand when he's around. He has a very busy schedule himself. You know,
And he himself is a great. I think he works on himself also quite a bit
yeah, he does.
with
He
his
does.
hobbies.
He realizes, correct. He realizes things that he doesn't like, and he tries to improve that in himself as well. But having said that, we are two people living under the same roof, right?
Right.
And there is always, I won't say comparison, but you always see the other person rising in his career, the salary rising, or having opportunities that you could have had as a working person but you
Yeah.
don't have because you are a mother, right?
Yeah.
That also plays on your mind, however secure your relationship is,
Right.
that always plays on your mind. And there was a time, when I started feeling that, maybe there will be a disconnect between us because he's growing at a pace and I'm not growing at that. And I was unhappy. I was clearly unhappy in that time, and this was a time when I was living in a great home. I had lovely children. Money was not a problem. um, Everything was fine outwardly, and but I was still unhappy, right? Because I didn't know what to do with myself. I felt that I'm not growing, and that's when I realized that and I kept putting the blame, not blame, but I kept feeling that he is responsible for my happiness, right?
Right.
He needs to do something that I will become happy. He needs to come back home on time. He needs to travel less, right? It took me a while to realize that my happiness is in my hands. No one can try and make me happy,
Right.
right? And that's when I started doing taekwondo. I started you know doing things that I wanted to do, of course not compromising being a mother. I'm not going to go totally 360 and 180 and say okay, I'm going to quit being a mother. But all the things that the time being in the free time I got, I started doing things that I enjoy. And I wouldn't say I put myself before everyone else. That's very tough for any mother to do. It doesn't come to us very naturally, but I put myself somewhere there, that I need to do this. And the how and the household adjusted, the children adjusted. They realized it's okay, it's mom's time to go for taekwondo, she's going to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And time just happened, time just came. Nakul was just around at that time, and all this while I kept thinking maybe I can't do it. How will I do it? The children are small, how will I do it? He's traveling, you know but it happened.
Yeah.
I guess the moment I put my happiness in my own hands, I think things started becoming better.
Why I'm smiling is because that sentence is like, I think it needs to go somewhere in my book. Now Kavita is here as well, joining us, and Kavita is boy is just left the second one for studying now, and
Uh-huh.
Kavita is in zone of that. A lot of mothers go into that, like, what do I do now? And I am totally supportive of her, and I totally love her as well. And Cynthia and Francis are just going on and on with the chat. We'll read, but I just love that line which you just said. I've put myself somewhere there. Like I've put
Yeah.
myself somewhere there. That line, Sumitra, I'm gonna write that down because that needs to go at least on the board for mothers as a basic thing that they need to do to yourself. At least put yourself somewhere there.
Yes.
That's like the basic thing I think we can inspire mothers to do. Forget about achieving, forget about breaking records, forget about doing all that a lot of mothers do,
Yeah.
and keep saying that whether I can do or not. At least start putting yourself somewhere there. That's why it was making me smile, because that sentence is a very, it's almost like a book can be written. about that at least put yourself somewhere there,
That's
just put yourself somewhere there in this whole zone, and don't be lost. And that's what this project is about. Show up, it's not about pictures, but pictures are making me realize that you don't want to show up. The day I think you pick up the camera and start posing, because I yesterday only I asked a mom who said I'm not photogenic, and I was just like, okay, what if I grant you the fact that suddenly your mindset has changed and you think I'm photogenic, I'm beautiful, I'm gorgeous. Every picture that comes of mine is gorgeous. Do you think you will ever take your picture? Do you think you'll ever share it? Do you think you'll ever put it on social media? Do you think you will not go and put it, print it and put it in your room? She's like, I will. Then why do you think we have this chatter about pictures are not good, this is not nice, I'm not good, I'm not this thing? Because we don't think we are good, we don't think we are beautiful. But the day we do, that's the first thing any human does. Look at my picture. Like, it's gorgeous. They will associate it with it, they'll embrace it. And that's why with my work, you've seen my work, it happens. Like, mothers immediately want me to put the prints, give it to them, and put them up. And I'm very proud of it because I could bring that out in a mother, even if she was sitting in a pajama, a beautiful picture that she could put up on wall, because that reminded her that I could be this. Like, I could be this happy mom. I could be this thing. This is like there. So
yeah.
it's not the chatter about that. So I think that this project is trying to achieve is the day we start embracing camera in today's time, which is become like it's this symbol for me because it's so close to me and it shows me the world that I think is unbelievable. The day, like every time we pick up the camera, we pick up a picture, we start showing it to the world and saying, "Look at that!" I was just and rather than say, "Oh my God, I'm hugging my child," but look at my hair. Like, just look at the look at the eyes which have gone up, and nobody has to tell us that. I think we would
Yeah.
have achieved great confidence, and we would have put ourselves somewhere there, at least
Yeah.
somewhere there, if not somewhere there. So I love that line about let's put ourselves somewhere there for sure. You want to say something?
Yeah, me? No, no. Go ahead. I was.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
enjoying
no,
this
no.
conversation.
I thought you wanted to say.
I was
I'm
actually very.
loving it.
I was very worried, and I was like, "What is she going to ask me? What will I even talk about? Or what are the list of questions here? So of course we don't have a list of questions, and I'm.
I don't because if I do, then I'm a big, again, coming from a judgmental point of view of having a pre-thing that this is what a mother needs to be asked and this is what she needs to be told, and the story will get lost. This book is becoming
I'm.
very real, of
Yeah.
each mother coming up and saying whatever, we don't care. And that's the whole thing, that these interviews are going to drive us starting from a point. I do a starting point and then it keeps driving us to a point which is so beautiful, and it's unfolding beautifully. And Cynthia is there. Get back to the basic. Our dreams matter too. I love it. Yes, Sumitra, 100% responsibility of our own lives. Thank you. Cynthia really needs to hear this. I know her also right now, and she really needed to hear this, Sumitra. And I'm so glad that I'm bringing these mothers who can interact with each other eventually and know each other. And they would have been in that book that's going to inspire more mothers. I'm just hoping that they can build this community, at least of these 100 moms. If nothing else, these 100 moms would have smiled together in the book. If nothing else happens to this, but I know a lot is happening with this book. But if nothing has happened after 100 days, I would have met 100 moms. I would have uplifted myself listening to their stories, and they would have uplifted each other by listening each other's stories, because some gorgeous stories are unfolding page by
Yes.
page.
I mean, I don't. I'm not on live Facebook live when you do this interview because of the time zones we are in.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I always go through the videos, and it's so nice to see women from all walks of life, sharing their stories and being an inspiration to each other. I mean, you don't need very well known figures to inspire you. The lady
Honestly.
next door is good enough to tell you that okay, life is really good. Be thankful for what you have.
What a beautiful. I actually want most of my interviews to be like this, this candid, this uplifting. Please write a book. And what question I'm coming up with is that, I always try to keep this interview short because I love all my moms and I keep talking to them, java, 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 and I don't want people to just think, oh, when is this interview going to end and we need to do the next thing in our life. So that's why I
Mhm.
try to keep it 30-40 minutes max so that people can
Yeah,
cover it up. And I'm going to ask the last question that I always ask.
sure.
And before you answer it, first I'll answer it for you because of taking the authority as your friend. So this is the manifestation part. We are going to. This book is called 100 Self Portrait, 100 Dreams, and I am like I was with Maya yesterday morning, and suddenly I realized that what my dream is, because till now I've been asking all the mothers. My dream is that all these 100 mothers' dreams should come true once it's in that book, and this book will make it possible by becoming so popular that every person's dream, somebody or the other, will keep reaching out to them for their dreams, making their dreams true. So that's my dream with this book. But uh, I'm going to put your dream as well. What's your ultimate dream? But for you, I have a dream for you to start writing either a blog or a book, because uh, I keep saying it, I'm not saying it for the first time. I think you have a lot to say to a lot of people, and you just don't know it. You just don't know it. So I'm manifesting it on your behalf first to the
Okay.
universe, that please let Sumitra come out with this one book about, let's be somewhere there. Let's put ourselves somewhere there, just about that. So what's your dream, Sumitra?
Shikha, I don't know if I have one dream. I have many dreams, right? I want to do many things.
Yeah,
Like, I have a list of things that I'd like to do, and I'd like to do all of them.
let's see
And
that. Let's hear them.
um, so I eventually want to have, um, you know, a bigger home kitchen where I can, really cook. And I don't think I want a restaurant, but I want a restaurant my style where I will cook what I feel one day, and then you just come and eat that. There's really no fixed menu. I really want to do that
Right.
at some point. This is not the time, I know that the children are too young.
Yeah.
I also want to get my master's training in Taekwondo and open a Taekwondo school. I don't know how I will do all these,
Awesome.
on
Forget
in
about the
any.
how. Just
Huh,
manifest.
but I will do it. I know I will do it.
Good.
Currently living in the US, and I do want to do 50 states before Nakul says, okay, it's pack up time, we're going to the next
Yeah.
one. Right? That's another thing I really want to do. I want to travel. Uh, and and I really want to experience culture. And I do want to write a book. I thought I
About
would write it. Yeah, I did start putting, pen to paper as well, but it was a book, it was like short stories for children, which
something will come out. Even your this experience will come out in those stories. So I don't care what you write. I think you need to manifest it today. Write that children's story, because
so
you'll
that
be
is that.
relating. That's the stories are going to be in your children's stories as well, for sure.
I do want to write a book, and there are so many other things I want to do. I want to learn a new language. I I want to do pottery. I want to become a better artist. So I don't think I'd like to say that I have one dream. And the reason why I don't want to have one dream is because, it makes you very driven to achieve that one thing. And I want to just be enjoying myself. Enjoy, like, there is just one life to live, right? And in that one life, at the end of it, I want to have said that, okay, I was able to do all these things because I just wanted to do them.
Right? And if I ask you that in whatever way you want to make an impact around you, what is that one impact would you like to make through your work, through your life, through your that one impact around? It could be nature, it could be anything. I mean, whatever you think, but that one impact that you would like to make.
See,
And
the one impact that I think is my biggest, or the one that I'm working towards relentlessly for the past 12 years, is giving two responsible human beings to this world, right? I know in the next couple of years, my children will go into the world and be adults and be on their own. And if I can send two children who are responsible towards the environment, towards themselves, their health, their well-being, towards their fellow human beings, whether they are in office or in college, neighbors, community, or their partners going forward, I think I would have achieved a very big part of my being a mother, or rather my only part of being my mother. I think that will be my biggest contribution to the society. I don't know whether I'll do anything going forward and get a Nobel Prize or any big
nay, nay,
achievement, but
this
this
is
is
not
the
about.
this no. What I'm saying, I don't know.
This is beautiful.
Well,
This is beautiful.
this is like, if I can put two human beings out there and I can be proud of them as human beings, I think that will be my biggest
That's
achievement.
what I say also about my boys. That if I can achieve that, and that because the ripple effect is through you, right? The
That's
ripple
right.
effect is
Like, if
totally
all
through
these
you.
100 moms sent all their children being responsible, I think we would live in a better world.
Yes, yes, and I'm sure about that. Like again, different moms have different things that they want to achieve. They're made for different things. They're,
Oh,
have so many other things. But for sure, these moms are showing up, and that's why they're in this book because they're showing up every day for their children. They're showing up every day for their dreams. They're showing up every day to make some kind of an impact, and that's about it. It looks like it's a very tough project. It's a very simple project that we are just putting the moms who are showing up, and you're a beautiful mother, and this conversation was beautiful. And like, look at the chat, everybody's relating. Kavita, I think I've achieved this, raised two beautiful kind boys. They're beautiful boys. I look at their pictures. Sumitra, this has been a very, very uplifting interview for me, and I absolutely know that you love photography, and I'm really looking forward to your self portrait because you have so much to say. And what are you going to say ultimately, so that that one mother that ever buys this book for an inspiration looks at Sumitra's page and say, I want to be like Sumitra, and what do I do to be like her? And that's why I'm also putting directories. They're going to be email addresses of all the mothers that can be reached out. And
mhm.
once this is done, all the 100 mothers on that Zoom call when I unveil the book is going to they're going to take one pledge that whatever done, if a mother reaches out, I will understand. And if a mother reaches out, I will
Yes.
make sure that I help her out to say, give her that light. And I know that not everybody can be uplifted. I know not everybody wants to be uplifted, but if we can do even one try of making them, say that you can, and they can come out of this shell, I think a really good work will be done by these 100 moms. So that little bit of pledge is going to be taken, and let's see where this book takes us. We're going to go off. We have so much love in the chat today as well. Kavita, Cynthia, Francis, Gia, all of them writing, and a lot of them are going to wake up and going to just like you're definitely, if I may say, and it's coming to me, if I may say, one of the reasons why I would want a project like this for sure.
I'm honored that you're even putting me in that.
No, because for me
Uh,
that matters. I
wow.
see you for like last 8 years of knowing you. I've seen you, and you, like, I don't have to lie about it. Every time I see you showing up, I go buzzing to my husband and say, "Look at Sumitra, just look at her, just look at what she's doing with a broken leg. She's going for a marathon. Look at her now. She's a broken leg. She's doing taekwondo." And I get so excited for you because for me, I think that's mattered for me so much in the world in my work of 20 years, that there is one smiling, jumping mother who, with all the struggles that's happening in her mind, the imposter syndrome, the doubt, everything, is shining. And that's the only thing that probably uplifts me for 20 years in my pictures, now in this project. And you're just gorgeous. So thank you for being that, Sumitra. Thank you for being here. I love knowing you. And we'll wrap up after your what you want to say. And thank you for everybody who's coming here for the chat as well. So
Yeah, thank you for making me a part of this lovely project. I mean, I truly believe in it. I, I don't know whether you want us to take the pledge or no, but you already have my word. If anyone ever reaches out to me, I will never say no. Right.
yeah.
And I'm sure we are here for each other. We are here to build strength, and only a woman can uplift a woman, right? So
Oh yes,
we
because
go.
she can understand. She can understand what it is. I hope
Yes.
so. I hope so. And that's what we've learned from your this thing. That stop judging so that you can understand. Just
Yep.
stop judging. And we're going to go off live. Don't go off Facebook. Love you people. This is our 26th mom, and I totally love her. And this is exactly what I wanted for the book. So thank you so much, Sumitra, for being you. Lots of hearts being given and sent on our chat. So thank you so much. And I'm going to go off and see you guys soon. 3 days of celebration. Friday we've not confirmed, but Saturday we have panel discussion. Sunday we have a panel discussion. Saturday I have a cheerleader coming up who basically put this seed into my head, Brittany, because she was my coach at that time when we started this whole thing. At that time, she told me that, oh, maybe you can work with mothers because you feel so much for mothers, and as a business we were developing, and she's seen this unfold, and today she's very proud of me. And then she wants to be one of the like she's going I want her to be one of the cheerleaders. She's coming on Saturday morning to talk to us. as a cheerleader for this. Sunday, we have 5 panelists who are very strong in their own profession. Some of them like very strong coaches. Kara is also one of my coaches, and she's coached me last 2-3 years, for 2-3 months for my mindset. There's Melanie, who's a parent expert. There is Kavita coming up. She's here right now. Kavita is a beautiful soul as well. We have Francis as well in that panel, and Debbie, who's going outright. You will see Debbie. Like, I woke up today and Debbie has posted about this project to 5 different forums that we are supporting this, we are going ahead. She's one of the pillars for the movement. Francis is one of the pillars. Kirtana is one of the pillars, and we're going to get 3 more pillars. And I think they will be supporting this tremendously. And thank you so much, Sumitra. And I will see all of you for the panel discussion. And let's celebrate 25 Mom. I don't know when 100 will happen, but let's celebrate the 25 first. See you. Bye bye. I'm going off live stream. Bye, people. Yeah.
Bye.